Okay, are we actually? Okay.
On air.
Live on YouTube. Hello,
On
YouTube.
air. Hello.
On air. Let's get going on. Helix Rock Radio. Artist, the Grawlix Podcast, of course.
Yeah.
We are artists.
On air.
Track title: Grawlix Nights Forever.
Yeah. Never forget.
Welcome to Grawlix Nights, the Grawlix Podcast live show. I'm Randy.
I'm Jesse.
Hey, we are sans Melanie once again.
Never forget.
Because she's out there making bacon.
Making bacon pancakes.
Yeah.
Take some bacon and you put it in a pancake.
She was singing that at me earlier today, actually.
It's such a weird beast, man. It just like, there's certain things that about it that just, I guess, timeless. I don't know.
Right.
It keeps going. I don't know.
What are those? Let's just bring back all the dead memes.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the final episode on Helix Rock Radio. I don't even know if Brandon has posted about this anywhere.
Oh man, spoilers, guys. Spoilers. This is the final season.
On this network,
yeah.
Unfortunately, Helix Rock Radio has been bought out by Jared Kushner.
Not again.
Not again.
This keeps happening. Yeah, no.
This isn't. Hey, hold on. Before I even get to this, where's my share thing? It's been a while since I promoted this, at least on Facebook.
We're not political. It's like the last time we'll have to say that, you know. I suppose we'll keep it going, but I feel like that's a joke for Helix Rock Radio. The fact that we're not political.
There it is. I was gonna say the Facebook page can't be gone already. It's not. It just took a while before it popped up.
It's gone.
Okay. Well, if Brandon hasn't posted about it anywhere, we just did it for him.
Well, welcome to The Last of Us.
Okay, so what we're
The Walking Dead with mushrooms.
You did just watch that today, huh? Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, that line was kind of funny. So here's what we're gonna be talking about. I figured we'd talk about The Boys. I titled the YouTube video just The Boys. And it's just the boys on the show, so seemed appropriate. But also,
and it's the final season. I feel like that's the through line.
We keep that going. If we keep that going as a bit, it's gonna become true. I feel.
Yeah, but if you just keep saying it's the final season, it's kind of like, you know, eventually episode 100 will come out.
In a way, it's both the final and the first season. I don't think we've ever.
Yeah, we've never really done seasons, so
you're
welcome.
Yep.
Welcome to the final first season.
Although, is this even still the show? Still the same show? I mean, technically, it's Grawlix Nights.
Who is this stream for?
Even we start rambling incoherently about things. One, the listener doesn't know, and two, the listener would only know if they've listened to our show for like 10 years, and no one has except Matty D. And he's not listening right now. So
yeah, we always have inside jokes that sometimes even the people who listen don't get.
Oh yeah.
Why aren't we good at this?
Some of our inside jokes seriously do stretch back so long ago.
Oh yeah.
Most of them. All the best ones for sure.
Yeah. Those you can find on the audio feed.
Yeah.
You guys remember feeds? Remember RSSs back when those were a thing? I think they work still, but nobody uses them.
All the best classic Grawlix bits did come from the episodes that are on the podcast feed that you can find on. Excuse me, that was disgusting. That you can find on
live, baby.
We've only got better.
Get that kind of flavor live.
We're aging like wine.
Yeah.
But that wine also happens to have a bunch of cheese in it. On the discount rack, yeah. It's a box wine.
Box wine. Slap the bag, baby.
Slap the bag. Okay, let's jump back real quick. Helix Rock Radio. We're not political. Yeah, you're right. We won't have to keep saying that going forward. Right. Helix Rock Radio is the online radio station. We've been streaming when we do live shows, we take time off sometimes. But when we do stream Grawlix, we've been streaming to Helix for like 2 years now that I think about it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Time is a flat circle or something.
All right.
It's a wibbly wobbly, and it's Jeremy Bearme and every other thing.
But Helix is shutting down the end of this month. So this will be our last Grawlix on Helix Rock Radio. Of course, we're still, when we do live streams, we'll still be on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Oh, are you? I'm not disappointed. I'm impressed. Brandon's kept the radio. Yeah. Brandon's kept the radio station going for quite a while. It's not a cheap endeavor. It definitely is a exorbitant monthly expense that he pays. This was a passion
project.
Yeah.
Kudos for doing it,
Right. But yeah. So just wanted to say hi, Helix Rock Radio, and goodbye, Helix Rock Radio.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
It's always been political every episode.
And whimsical.
I guess we're not a political show. That's one of the more modern inside bits for sure. And
it's always been political, only because everything has become political. Like, you can't talk about things, period. You can't even talk about comic books because, then you got to get into antitrust nonsense because Diamond Publishing or Diamond Distribution has had a monopoly on that for forever, and that becomes political. So everything is political, and so are we. But this is not a political show.
Look at who owns the big two comic book. Like, it's
right. Yeah. Disney and Warner Brothers.
Right. So it's everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I find it very funny that most of the time online, when you see somebody say, when you're out in the wild and you see somebody honestly say, why you got to bring politics into it, it's usually on topics that are explicitly political. So I'm just like, what do you got? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So you can't avoid it now. That's okay. I mean, it's not. Everything sucks, but
no.
It's not okay. It's pretty far from okay.
Yeah. It's a crock of that.
How are we going to talk? How can we cover The Boys? And be
my God.
Not to get political.
I said so political. Yeah.
It's so funny. I could be wrong, but I thought I had seen a headline. I didn't read the article because I wasn't that interested. And I didn't want spoilers for The Boys, the current season of The Boys, but there was some headline where, I don't know, it was one of the showrunners or a writer or something was like, they'd wished they had written the scripts more recently to really catch up on current state of things. And it's watching season 5. I'm like, what more could you have caught up on?
They did this last time too, where
they're
you're
there, you're doing it.
They're like how they were doing things, and somehow they were prophesying it because it was happening as it was happening. How I don't know how they even did that, but they were like, hey, you know what? Let's do this. They probably thought they were being hyperbolic too.
That's the thing.
You know?
That's the thing. Yeah. They probably did. Maybe that's it. They're like, we didn't go far enough because this just seems too realistic now.
Yeah. Seems normal. Yeah.
I mean, the president's truthing out posts pictures of him as a doctor.
Yeah.
As him as a doctor.
Yeah.
A very radiant savior-like doctor.
Yeah. It's funny. I saw somebody took that exact one, like now it's become an AI on top of an AI kind of deal. It's like people now take that one and then make AI put Godzilla in there instead.
Yeah.
Like that exact one, but now it's Godzilla. So it's like, okay.
That's what we really want.
That's what we really needed. A doctor.
But we're not political. That Godzilla thing, I could have took that to a doctor segue too, but I don't have any good Doctor Who stuff to talk about right now. That Godzilla thing did remind me though. They dropped a teaser trailer for the new Godzilla coming up, which is the sequel to Godzilla -1. It's Godzilla -0.
Yeah, right.
But one of the shots, it looks like Godzilla's trampling in by a Statue of Liberty, and it's like, good. There's not enough. I mean, I know it happens in the American movies, but there's not enough Japanese produced Godzilla movies where he comes over here and just messes things up. So right. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Mothra did. I think the original Mothra comes over and messes up not New York, but totally New York. He's glorious.
All right.
That's it. That was my side rant. This is the kind of show you can expect tonight, everybody.
That's right.
I say that like we're not already a quarter of the way into the show.
Yeah. Like we haven't dropped a whole bunch of nonsense inside jokes already and taken several tangents. We don't have Melanie. She's the driver.
She is.
That's why she's not here, is because she's the driver. But she's also, when she's here, she's the driver.
It's her calling, to be honest.
Yeah. She's driven.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, hey. How are you doing? I can't do that. How are you two doing?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Hanging in there. It's the fourth quarter of school. It's also storm season, so today kids are just nuts because it's weird because here in Fremont, nothing. But like when I left Elkhorn, it was just like just this torrential downpour, and the kids are so freaked out about tornadoes and whatnot. I'm like, there's no indication of a tornado at all. Right. But there's some kids who don't care. And they're like, tornado. And then there's the kids who like care so much that they can't not think about it. And they're like freaking out.
Right.
And then the other kids are like, then there's like the kids who want to help. And so they just like, oh no, we can take care of you by talking about it more. And then there's the other ones who are like, tornado. And I'm like, you guys stop it. Do your work.
Melanie's niece got out of school early because of the weather. So like in Omaha, they were concerned anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Here it got spooky a couple times during the day. Spooky looking, but nothing really that bad.
Oh yeah. Did you get the torrential rain at all?
Not really.
No.
Maybe a little bit of rain for a very brief time, but otherwise it had that look, that yellowy green tornado weather look. Got real dark. It was like the middle of the day, and it's like, I turn on all the lights in the house. And then later it's like, why is it so bright outside? I need to open these curtains back up. So
that always makes me think of those Julian Sands Warlock movies for some reason when it gets super dark like that, Yeah. I know they did like more of them, but like I only really cared about the first two.
Oh yeah. I mean, Pretty sure it's all downhill from there anyway.
Well, I mean, it's not even Julian Sands after that. I
Right.
think like Warlock 3 had a recast or something.
No shade on those movies, but I mean, it was kind of downhill from the start. But then there's a certain point where you're just like, okay, there's the cutoff point.
Oh, right.
The first two, okay. After that, you're cut off, buddy.
Right. Yeah.
Slide you the card. You see
But the first one, I think, was like kind of a, I don't know, it had more of an indie vibe to it, and it was like kind of like probably low budget movie, right? And then I think 2, they got some money, right? Sure. And then it was like, this isn't better at all. Like having more money isn't.
Maybe I don't need to revisit them, but I should revisit those.
I think the first 2, I don't know. I guess I haven't watched them in a long time, but like I remember them being surprisingly good. But I do remember like the second one feeling like this is like, what if you tried to do like the Infinity Gauntlet as a horror movie, you know?
Sure.
Like Julian Sands is just like going around like, I'm gonna get this like jewel or something. It feels like they were like Infinity Stone kind of things, and I was like, this is a weird storyline. I don't get it.
The Warlock movies were movies that I never sought out, but they'd play on cable fairly often, so you'd catch them. That reminded me of something. Horror movie. Clayface trailer.
Oh yeah.
What did you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good trailer. It's a well-produced trailer.
Right.
So
right.
I don't
That's
know
an important distinction. You can never really tell what you're getting based on the trailer.
There's been a lot of good trailers lately. I don't think all those movies are going to be good.
Right.
You know,
that's a good point.
Right now, Street Fighter looks really good. You know what they don't do in that trailer? Talk at all.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes has one line. I think he's got the only line in that whole trailer. And it's like just pointing out the fact that Ryu can shoot fireballs. And I was like, that's a good line. Why isn't there any others? The rest of it is all like CGI fight moves and whatnot, you know? Like, it was like, oh, this movie's going to be hot trash, isn't it? It looks too good. And there looks like there's no substance.
I've got a little bit of that vibe. There's been a couple trailers for the new Mortal Kombat. And whatever. I mean, it's got, what's his name? Carl Urban.
Urban. We got Billy Butcher. And I think that's the problem. My problem with it is like, he's not my Johnny Cage.
Why is he Johnny Cage? He should have been Kano. Like, if you're going to have him in there.
Oh, he absolutely should have been Kano.
He's like,
and if he's not going to be Kano, because the other guy killed it as Kano, you know, like I love that guy as Kano. If he's not going to be Kano, then he needs to be somebody else entirely, not Johnny Cage. Like, I don't know. I have a lot of faith in Carl Urban. He's my dread, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know, he did pretty great as Bones in the Star Trek reboots. I mean, I think he got the vibe without totally selling himself out.
But he doesn't.
I just don't see him as Johnny Cage.
No, I agree. I think he's a quality actor, so that makes it promising. But it seems like a miscast to me. I always thought that was a weird announcement when it's like, oh, okay.
Make him Stryker or something.
Right.
I've been trying to think of who would he be, but like Stryker's the only one I can think of. You know, like make him the cop, the human. You know, one of the human cops that works with probably Jax and Sonya. I suppose Stryker doesn't show up until Mortal Kombat 3, the game, and I feel like this feels like it's going the route of the games. So they've even hinted that maybe Johnny Cage dies in this, you know, which is what happens in Mortal Kombat 2. You know?
Right. He died because they didn't want to pay the motion capture actor or the likeness guy,
right?
But the likeness guy felt he deserved.
Right.
The classic, like, motivated by legal action character death.
Yeah. That old chestnut.
Yep.
So narratively satisfying.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know what to think of. I don't know what to think of the new Mortal Kombat movie based on the trailers. Like, it looks okay,
Well,
but it's
based
like
on the trailer, we don't have Tonfa Man.
what'd you
Like,
call him?
he's the main character. Are you not going
Oh,
to bring him back for the sequel?
I noticed. So the new trailer, no, they have not shown him in the other trailers. In the new trailer, for a split second, he's there. You see him.
Oh, he is there.
But the new
Okay.
trailer does the thing where it's like it's not the guy. You can tell it's not the guy. But then again, I've been hearing the Mortal Kombat announcer guy or variations of him for like 30 years now. But they do the like flash of character fighting, and it's like Scorpion, what up, Raiden, blah blah blah. It's got the voice. There was no Cole announcement. You see him for a split second, but there was no like Cole.
Yeah.
Nope.
They're not throwing.
He's getting the shaft hard.
Yeah.
So
it was the worst decision of the first movie.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand the logic of that.
Well, I think they were trying to think. I think they were trying to come up with a hit new character, and then they gave him Tonfas.
It's rough. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I kind of get it. It's like, if you're a video game franchise and you're doing a movie, I mean, like, this is an opportunity to build in everybody's new favorite character, right? Like, they got an opportunity. But then if you're going to do that, if you're going to have that opportunity, then you have to capitalize on it, and it has to be solid. Like, I don't know. And I don't know why you do it in the first movie either. Like, you capitalize on the already rich backstory, like the ridiculously convoluted and far too rich backstory.
That's the thing. Like, if there's a franchise where you don't have to worry about like not having enough random deep cut characters to pull from, it's not Mortal Kombat. There are so many weird random characters they could have pulled from, but it also kind of reeked of like audience surrogate. But it's like in the first Mortal Kombat, like all the Earth characters are being introduced to this concept. So like the movie follows Sonya and whoever else for like a good chunk. Jax, like,
but the first time around, didn't they do that? Basically, Sonya like stows away on this whole thing. I mean, Liu Kang was kind of our surrogate in the first movie, but like also Sonya and them.
Did they make Luke? Were they? I feel like maybe they were worried. Liu Kang from his background, Sonya being like a military person, like maybe they were worried there wasn't the regular guy that the audience could latch on to,
right.
or something, because everybody's a washed up MMA fighter. Identify with that.
In Mortal Kombat, you know what that rich backstory is all about? The regular guy. I mean, like, yeah, even the like most comedic characters like Bo Raicho, who just is like a fat drunken master kind of guy, like even he is like ridiculously good fighter, because that's what you need in order to survive.
Right.
The Outworld what is it called? I don't even know.
Yeah, Outworld. I rewatched a while. It was a little while ago now, but the 95 Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't say it holds up, but arguably, depending on like your maturity level, probably your age at the time when it came out, it didn't hold up when it was new. It's kind of rough, but
it kept it simple though.
I feel like it nailed the introduction of the characters into the world, like where you get Johnny Cage, Liu Kang, Sonya does Stowaway. I guess those were the main Earthrealm characters that we followed. Art, we do get like a no-name new in character, but he's literally like just to be killed off to show there's some stakes. Like you got to have a good guy that's killed off.
Sure.
As opposed to
but it was basically what the game was, right? They basically kind of tried to ape Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what the game was, partially what the game was aping, but it worked. I thought it worked really well.
Yeah.
Not that this newer one wasn't. Yeah, I mean, it did fine, even though they never actually got to the tournament. But Mortal Kombat 2 will finally get to the first tournament.
Right. Of course. And Goro's already dead or something. Didn't he die in the first
Right.
movie?
I think he did. I think he did.
Geez.
Yeah, they got
He's supposed to be
backups.
the champion.
They'll pull
No,
some
they got Kintaro.
yeah.
Shao Kahn will actually fight, maybe. I don't know.
Right. They're gonna be pulling in Quan Chi, so they're pulling characters from later games
already.
Yeah. I know in that latest trailer.
I know he's got like a prequel story or whatever, but like, you know, like he's always been there.
Like he's like the head guy above whatever, but the games, he doesn't come in till the fourth one, I think.
Yeah, he doesn't even come in until like almost after. Like it's almost like the second, you'd call it like second wave Mortal Kombat, you know?
Right.
Like the first three were kind of a trilogy, and then it was like, oh, we don't really need to make more. And then we're like, yeah, we do. We need money. And then like the dynamic was very different for Mortal Kombat 4. Like they added the diagonal 3-dimensional, because everything else was just like straight across classic beat 'em up, you know.
It's definitely the one. It's definitely the one I've played the least.
Yeah.
I
played it a lot only because when I worked in, you know, in a home, the guy had, you know, like the clients had it, and that's what they wanted to play. And so I was like, okay, all right. I mean, I'm here and I get to play video games on the job. Okay.
Right.
So, I mean, there were things I liked about it. It wasn't a total dud, but it is kind of the black sheep of the whole franchise, I think. You know, like for a while there, they were kind of like, oh, we're not gonna bring any of these characters back, you know, and then they did bring them back, but like, you know, like the wind guy, the
Fujin.
I think he was supposed to be like the successor to Raiden or something, and I was like, yeah, you're no Raiden, sir.
You, sir, are no Raiden. You're yeah. Convoluted. Mortal Kombat storyline is ridiculous. One of the like, not Mortal Kombat 4, but then there was like a trilogy of 3D games after that. That kind of started to nail the 3D thing better. One of them, the intro, I remember like Raiden getting killed during the intro, or seemingly killed during the intro, and then it cuts to then a big bad walks in, and it cuts to another angle, and Raiden's just standing there with the other guys. I'm like, so there's no stakes, nothing means anything. He literally got killed, and then it's just okay in the same scene. What is this? It's just a cartoon.
Right.
So whatever. Didn't expect this conversation to go. So Clayface looks.
We got here. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Clayface does look promising, that trailer. I'm not written or co-written with the story by Mike Flanagan, which is obviously the thing that initially got me excited about this news years ago when it was announced. And the director, because he's not directing, the director I'm not familiar with, but he has done apparently other horror movie stuff that's good. So that's a good sign. And yeah, whatever. Looked interesting.
Oh, you know what we haven't talked about? Because our schedule's been intermittent. The return of Firefly.
We haven't talked about that because I knew nothing of this.
You don't know about that at all? Oh, yeah, no, they announced it at, I don't remember which con, but Nathan Fillion has been slowly kind of teasing it for a while. He's been doing like this weird series of like clips or whatever. I think it was on YouTube, where he's just showing up at everybody's house. And they're just like, oh, so it's happening. And you know, and they're all like weird and awkward in the very Nathan Fillion approach kind of thing. And him and Alan Tudyk have their own show. Was it Once We Were Spacemen or something is their
Mhm.
podcast. And so apparently like they announced it at one of these cons that were almost all of them were. And yeah, the idea is that they're going to return, but it's going to be animated.
Mhm.
And so they went down the list of like, what would we need to make this almost impossible thing happen, you know? And it was like, okay, well, we need Joss to sign off on it. He did. We need like a showrunner or something, and we've got it. And you know, we need an animation studio. Boom, we got it. We need the cast, obviously, we got it, you know. So supposedly they are making it, and it's going to exist in the time between the two things. So it's
That in
gonna
the series and the movie, the Serenity.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, in between when Firefly ended and Serenity happened, which makes sense because then you can still have Wash, and
Yeah.
they're gonna do something with Shepherd Book somehow. Obviously they'll have to recast it, but yeah.
Wow, I can't believe
So
I had no clue. Okay. Animated series for I remember there was talk at some point of like maybe doing Buffy as an animated thing, or maybe that was Sarah Michelle Gellar when asked about at a certain point about future Buffy. She's like, well, maybe animated.
right.
And I feel like that's a good idea. The Buffy reboot, new series, whatever it was going to be, that
we haven't talked about the fact that that's been canceled either. Yeah,
that crashed and burned for whatever reason.
that's a bummer.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, cool. And I mean, especially something sci-fi like Firefly, doing it animated. I hope the animation's good. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We've been watching a little bit, catching up on the latest season of Invincible, Melanie and I, and been enjoying it. I noticed people have been complaining about the animation a lot, and it's not great. But I think visually, it's a more like simplistic visual style, but it kind of fits the artwork of the comic. It was very clean lines, not super detailed. There's not like a lot of shading or like cross hatching or anything. It was very clean lines, but yeah, they're not going crazy with the animation on this show. But I think Invisible is strong enough story that it's fine. You don't have to.
Right. Yeah, it's more about that anyways. That and the surprise violence.
Right. Right.
Those are kind of the two key things, is like the really, really strong payoffs to long running story beats. You know, like that seems to be Kirkman's bag, is to like, you know, give you a thread and then pay it off way down the road.
Yeah, and that's why it's so frustrating when like good stories, especially TV shows, get cut short anymore, because it's like there's never a guarantee of it, but there's no guarantee, like there's not really a medium to be able to pull that off that often.
Right.
But Invincible is definitely one of those where, man, there's some crazy stuff. There's still stuff in the TV show I'm waiting for that maybe they just won't do, but there's still moments I'm waiting for that from the comic that I love, and like they could just, I don't know, take one episode out of like, or just like dedicate one episode to doing this little, like, it's essentially a side tangent, but it's also like kind of mind blowing. The comic's so good about that. Someday I'll finish that series. I never read the end. It's still going for me.
Of course. Yeah.
I'm just not reading it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about The Boys, I guess. We should probably do that before we need to wrap the show up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that little chestnut. Also on Amazon Prime.
Yep.
Final season, by the way.
Final season.
Helix Rock Radio, in case you forgot.
So be no more. That'd be the end of it. And don't worry, The Boys, it doesn't get political. It's not a political show. It's fine.
No. It's not superheroes, guys. Superheroes aren't political. Never have been.
I never watched the second season of Gen V. I liked the first season of Gen V.
Yeah, I meant to too, and I was like, oh, there was a second season. Like it wasn't even on my radar. I knew it was supposed to come out, and then all of a sudden, bang, here we are. And it wasn't like bang, here we are. It's been a minute. I guess they just didn't promote it very much. I don't know.
Yeah,
I missed that entirely.
Yeah. Sometime I'll have to go back, but I mean, Gen V even had the like, maybe they weren't red baseball caps, but they might have been like some type of red caps that the anti soup group, or were they pro? I don't remember, but basically it was a very obvious red hat cult type situation, and it's just like, man.
Has more of the like, I wonder about like was the kid group or whatever, is that from Gen V? Like the kids who I mean, it's basically like the TikTok house of the super,
right, like the influencers
world. Is it something sick?
I can't
Teen
say
Kicks or whatever.
I can't say regarding season 2, but they weren't anybody familiar to me from season 1.
Okay.
And I know there was an unfortunate situation where one of the like lead actors from season 1 passed away in real life between seasons, which was a bummer because he was great. So I'm not sure how. I know they handle that some way in the story, but I'm not sure how that impacted season 2. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't noticed too many carryover characters. I think not this season,
every
but
time
last
they introduce a new guy, I think that I'm missing something, where it's like, oh, that guy can just explode your head. He's in the prison.
Him,
like,
I'm very curious
guy,
about. That I feel like that seems like that would be a character that would carry over. I don't know that it's somebody that from the first season though. It's been a while since I watched it. But I've been a little surprised there haven't been more carryover characters. I know the lady that was like the vice president or whatever she was, she got killed last season. She was in Gen V a lot. Like there were characters that carried over from the boys to Gen V, but not so much the other way.
Right.
Which is, I guess, kind of smart with your flagship show to not confuse or alienate people too much that, like, for whatever reason, aren't interested in checking out the other show or don't know about it. So, where it's like, this is the main show and this is clearly the spinoff. And,
it was like Torchwood, though. Torchwood would would pull in the Doctor on like an episode or something. Or at least nod to it, It's like, oh, where's he going?
Yeah, it's always funny with spin-off shows where you can tell it's like the situations where you're like, it feels like it's shoehorned in somewhere. It's like, this isn't going to impact the main story, the main show. And it sometimes they'll feel almost fan fiction-y in the way that they like shoehorn things in. Not that was
the case when Buffy and Angel were on 2 different networks, kind of thing.
Right. There'd be like crossovers, but it'd be so like vague on one versus the other.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying this season of The Boys quite a bit. A lot of tension.
Yeah.
I don't. This last
is this a long season?
It's gonna be 8 episodes.
Really? So it's
there's 3
left. It's ramping up because it's almost over.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I was curious. I was worried it was going to be even shorter because shows just keep getting shorter and shorter. But yeah, episode 8 or episode 5 is what we watched today. So I looked it up and it seems like there's going to be 8. they're setting up a split with Frenchie and what's her name?
Kumiko.
Yeah, and that kind of felt like a little bit out of nowhere. This
It
episode.
did. Yeah, if anything feels rushed, that was because it was
Yeah.
like they were so hot and heavy, and then like, oh well, I guess.
Spoilers for the most recent episode. I don't know when new episodes go up.
I want to say they were around the same time as Daredevil. I want to say they're like Tuesdays or something. Maybe Tuesdays or Thursdays. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I will say when Starlight went to visit her estranged father or whatever, I was like, that kid's gonna call cops. What are you doing? You need to get out of there.
Oh yeah.
Why are you
absolutely.
even there? What is this?
Yeah. I feel like they did that well because you knew what was going to happen, and then it paid off, and you actually felt kind of satisfied with it. Like sometimes it's like, oh, I predicted that, and it doesn't feel good. But this was like, oh, well, that makes sense. Of course he is. He thinks she's a terrorist, you know?
Right. I guess I'm not complaining about more character development, but I was kind of like, why are we doing any of this? What are you doing? Stay away from there.
Yeah.
Don't go over there. You've never really talked that much about him in the show. We don't need this. This is just gonna be trouble.
It's just the final season. We've got to tie up some loose ends kind of thing. And it gives her a moral anchor so that they can speed up her reconciliation with Huey, I guess.
Right. And then Butcher this season finding his dad, who I thought had already died, and killing him off screen was also an odd decision.
That was weird. I don't know. Like, it is a good season, but there is some strange. I guess there is some strange stuff. I was like, it's pretty solid. I was thinking like it's holding type pretty well, you know.
I think it is.
Yeah.
There's just a few things that really seem surprising to me, and I think that's trying to sell the like. Last season did that already pretty well, but he's completely like his humanity is just pretty much gone.
Yeah.
I think that's just trying to further reinforce that.
But like there have been some other things that make me wonder if there wasn't like more production, like hiccups or snafus or something, because like Black Noir just not talking, and then all of a sudden, oh, there he is with his mask off, and it is the same guy, you know, like it was fueling rumors that that it wasn't even that same guy.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, oh, nope, I just went fully method. And do you have any idea how hard that is to do? And da-da-da-da-da.
Right. I agree. Yeah, that was this episode because, I mean, they established before it was essentially an actor playing the role. And he was going method. But the fact that they went so long this season and pointed out, like, just talk. You know, like the Deep's like, dude, you can talk. Like, what are you doing? Him just refusing to talk, just not talking, definitely seemed like setting something up. And then this episode was like, oh no, he was just really committed to the bit. He was just going full method.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
Yeah.
I feel like it doesn't necessarily add. I guess it added speculation, but when there's nothing, no payoff to it at all. Moffat, maybe it's not worth setting up a bunch of speculation.
maybe.
No, we're not RT. Not Moffat. No, Moffat too.
I was to say RTD.
I meant to throw shade at RTD.
I don't think it's entirely that may have been Freudian, but I don't think it's unwarranted. I feel like Moffat set some things up that were nothing burgers too. A lot of MacGuffins. Man, he was the king of MacGuffins. Like, oh, Trenzalore. Shut up.
Yeah. That really went. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that went nowhere in Doctor Who. Moffat deserves the random accidental stray there, I think.
Yeah.
RTD just deserves it more, but
probably, yeah. And then when he does go back to the well, it's like, oh, stay out of the well. The well was so good.
You're tracking in mud and muck into the well.
How are you going to go back and ruin something that was practically perfect?
Literally muddying the waters. What are you doing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Maybe not literally, figuratively, but
Yeah.
not to get
Yeah.
pedantic on myself.
But yeah. Listen, past Randy, do better. Like recent past, like just happened past.
10 seconds ago, Randy, do better.
Yeah.
He won't.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying it, and
Yeah.
this was a weird episode in general, but not a bad episode. Like this whole weird like tree that makes it makes everybody hate each other kind of
Yeah.
thing, and then we just have like let's just have it out kind of moment with everyone, and then you got Homelander looking as vulnerable as he's ever looked, and yeah.
Him going the like full Lord. No, I am the Lord. It's such a ridiculous move, but like, of course.
Was it O Father or All Father or whatever? I'm like David Diggs, his character. Like that's new to the season, right? Like I didn't fall asleep and wake up and there was a character I missed, right?
No, I think he's new to the season, and it does a weird thing of like he's just there, and in the show treats him like somebody you would know, but I think he is new to the season. I don't remember.
I was gonna say he's a pretty big name to just throw into like Gen V, but maybe they established him in Gen V because I know Ashley gets a fair amount of play in that series, right? So maybe he shows up there, but it doesn't feel like that. If like the boys likes to just give us new characters and be like they've always been important,
right?
And we're like, oh, what is it? They go to this lab and they're trying to find the original V1. Is that right? Is that what it's called? V1?
Yeah, V1. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So they're trying to find that, and then they were just like, oh, it's that guy with the cocaine. Like, what?
So they've referenced him in season 3, according to whatever fandom website this is for the boys. A newspaper clipping of O Father's accusation can be seen inside of MM's closet, along with the crimes and malfeasance of multiple soups. So he's referenced in season 3, but it looks like he doesn't actually appear till season 5. And by reference, I mean there's a newspaper clipping that references him in the background. That's yeah.
That's a deep cut. So is he a bigger deal like in the comic then, or?
I'm gonna guess so. If they knew about him in season 3, Father Comics. He was a minor antagonist in the comic book series. So,
I mean, he doesn't seem to be a big deal in the show, but that guy, that actor, I mean, and I think he popped up on a lot of people's radars because of Hamilton.
Sure.
But like that dude has so much charisma that like he may be a nothing burger character, but when he's on screen, he nails it. You're just like, what's going on with this guy? At least I feel that way. He's got on-screen charisma for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. And maybe that's part of it. He doesn't seem like he's got such presence. It seems like I feel like I should know this guy already.
Right. Yeah.
As opposed to just some rando that shows up.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I think the season is good though. I would not so far it's very good. I wouldn't say it's bad or even sloppy or messy. It's definitely like moving along at a pretty good pace, yet at times takes weird detours that I'm not expecting. Also, I feel like Homelander at least should have been aware they were in the same all those guys were in that building. They're like fighting and banging things in a floor below, and Homelander's up there and unaware.
Yeah. When then man, I mean, that is the one thing about this pace and how long the show has been going is that we have so many characters, and then they come in and you're like, this should be a bigger deal. Like Ryan, in the episode previous, is like, oh man, that's a big deal. And now he's just gone again. And like, I'm assuming he's going to have to come back again before this is all over. And same thing with, what's his name? The Vought guy that just is like the mastermind, what's that?
I do.
He's such a great character actor.
Yeah. Fring is what comes to mind because of Breaking Bad, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah. And so it's the same thing, like him popping back up. I'm like, oh,
I thought his character was
he's
dead.
not nobody.
I thought he was dead too. Apparently not. I just don't remember. I just assume when a character disappears from the show for a while, I'm like, oh yeah, they probably got killed off. I just don't remember because
it's like a Westworld thing. It's like, man, just violent ends kind of happen to all these characters. Like,
right.
If they're not there, it's probably because they died.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I suppose the show's pretty good about bringing characters, unless you explicitly see them die, bringing them back.
Right.
Even after you think they're already dead.
Interesting new wrinkles that Soldier Boy is, spoilers, a rich kid.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, like that tends to be the type of personality that has the most like nonsense baggage biases.
They're really nailing his like uncomfortable, awkward, kind of like homophobic, but also like, why do you always go to that well, dude?
Yeah,
like his
right.
Dick.
Yeah, they pointed out, or like, you're always talking about genitals or something like that.
Yeah. Interesting. The tree guy, the wall guy, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah. Quinn.
Now that I'm guessing that was just a friend. That wasn't his brother, was it? Because I know he was talking about his brother, and I don't remember if he mentioned a name. I'm assuming it was just a friend of his from back then. Because
it really impacted him, though.
Yeah, obviously, like when the anger, hatred effect died off for everybody, he seemed super upset, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, they just list him as a failed test subject of V1.
Okay. It's a little flimsy that Frenchie, like, he didn't get it totally right, but
they are saying that it was his brother. Quinn is/was Soldier Boy's brother.
Okay. See, that reaction makes sense.
That makes more sense now. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I was just reading up on it.
Yeah. Unless I'm getting nonsense AI hallucinations on that answer.
Right, that's possible. Regardless, it's interesting. Soldier Boy is kind of an interesting character because he's not a good dude, but he definitely has more. You don't see it very often, but he definitely has more humanity than like Homelander. Of course, everybody has more humanity than Homelander.
Right. Well, and also he was immune to the rage or whatever because he also has V1.
Interesting. Okay.
But like Frenchie, that's still such a bizarre like twist.
It's a stretch.
Like, listen. He's so messed up for so long that nothing messes with him.
His brain chemistry is different now.
Yeah.
And
he's not even human anymore, hardly.
I get that they needed a way to explain what was happening, although it was kind of obvious, but it was a little clunky, we'll say.
It wasn't too obvious at first, like I guess I don't know. I didn't pick up on it when it was just dead animals. When it was just dead animals, I was like, this is just creepy, right? And then when Huey randomly says, like just says that thing about Starlighter, I was like, oh, but not like that surprised because she kind of has been.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, oh, this is just Huey finally kind of laying it out.
Right. It's fair he would have some pent up frustration.
And then he immediately Huey's up and apologizes like, oh, I didn't mean to be that intense.
But yeah, once it was clear, like a couple of them were being hostile towards each other, and then the animals thing made sense, and it's like, oh, okay,
yeah,
I get what they're doing there. But then having Frenchie like lay out,
he just lays it all out. But they did diffuse that pretty well with that line. That was a great line, by the way. I love it when a show can just take a shot at another show to just diffuse it. You know, like that was the perfect comedic release to that. It was like he just exposition dumped on us. It was like, look at all the rage, and it just feeds this plant or whatever. And they were like Last of Us, and he's like, no, that's just Walking Dead with mushrooms.
right. Yeah, it was an interesting little shot. Yeah. Throw a little shade their way.
But it reminds me of like there's a line like that in Shoresy where like they're just riffing on things, and it was like, and the girls were in the locker room, and he's like, what is this, Ted Lasso? And it was like, that's such a good shot. Like that's the kind of shot I wouldn't see coming.
Right. Any final thoughts on The Boys so far? I know we haven't, like, I don't really know what else how far to dive into it, but
3 episodes, you know, I mean, like this one ends with the big, you know, like pseudo religiosity vibe that you would think would be too hyperbolic to be real, but then the world we live in.
Right.
Where the president fights with the Pope and posts images of himself where he's a doctor.
Right. Oh my gosh.
And that's where it's like, yeah, man, you guys thought you were being outrageous. You're really not. Only slightly more, you know, outrageous than the real world.
Slightly. It always, I mean, this hasn't GTA 6 is coming out eventually, but it always makes me think of one of the guys writing.
Sure it is, Randy. You keep.
That's true. That's true. Maybe it's coming out soon.
Half-Life's gonna have a sequel too. Yeah.
Right. The next Elder Scrolls.
Half-Life 3. You know it's happening. Right around the corner, it's not even that. They didn't even finish Half-Life 2, did they?
So there was an article. Maybe it was Dan Hauser, one of the guys that wrote a bunch of the big Rockstar games and also like worked on them and stuff, who is not with Rockstar anymore. I think he's one of the founders too. Anyway, I could be wrong about some of that, but he or somebody in his type position was saying that they weren't in any rush. I'm sure they've been working mechanically on GTA for a while, but to do the next Grand Theft Auto, because Grand Theft Auto it's supposed to be satire, a parody. It's supposed to be a heightened version of reality. That's where the humor is. And this is maybe around 2016 or so. But and they're like, but we're just going to hold off for a while, because how do you do satire of the current state of things? Like you can't write anything that's more ridiculous than the way the world currently is. And it's only gotten worse since then, really.
Oh yeah. I can't wait till you get caught up on Daredevil, because you think this is political. Holy cow.
I've kind of seen people complain about SNL. Well, people always complain about SNL from one perspective or another. But a thing I've noticed a lot recently is people are like, they've got to give like the Trump skits and stuff a break, because they're not satirizing it. They're basically just paraphrasing reality. And at that point, it's not even comedy anymore. It's just depressing. And, you know, I'm not saying I necessarily agree with that, but I totally get the point, what they're talking about. Maybe I agree a little bit, because I've seen some bits where it's like, Yeah, that's fine, but like, what did you write? You just basically put out plainly a scenario that's exactly the same as what the real scenario is. That's where reality is at.
You
So,
just said it in a silly way, like in a
right.
silly voice. That's it. That's the only thing that's, you didn't say anything that wasn't true. You didn't make it funny, really. You just
Which,
made it funny the way they said it.
and I know satire is not easy, but like, if you're not nailing that satire, you're just kind of normalizing the
Yeah,
reality of it. And
right.
that's not good. You're
Right.
like making that seem ridiculous when it's like, well, I mean, it is ridiculous, but it's also like
But it makes it feel
true.
harmless, and it's not.
That's it. That's the right way to put it. Yeah, yeah. But we're not political. This is not a political show.
No.
Oh, Helix Rock Radio. I'm gonna miss you.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's
it.
amazing.
I think that is amazing. We're gonna have to do a whole like science episode when Melanie gets a chance to.
When Melanie gets back, she's just going to do a takeover.
Yeah, yeah. I would.
And it'll probably be in the middle of an episode because she probably won't show up like at the beginning. She'll like show up and it will just be like,
Yep.
Like all of a sudden it's amazing, and then the rest of the episode is just her talking science.
Whatever, yeah, whatever we're saying,
and us trying to vamp on something that's actually amazing.
Yeah. But we need our driver, our train conductor, what are the people in the airports?
I'm still bummed that space herpes would just be herpes that we sent into space. That one still gets stuck in my brain where I'm like, oh,
it's you want it to be like herpes from space?
Yeah,
like,
from space. Yeah.
Herpes that originated in space.
Yeah, like all the sci-fi movies where it's like, oh, it's an all-out moon zombie attack or whatever. It's like plants from space.
Herpes.
Yeah, space clowns. Everything's scarier when it comes from space.
But if we send it out there and then bring it back,
yeah,
not
and
really
then it just comes back.
Stuff.
It's just space flu.
That's
we went out into space and had flu, and now it's space flu.
Right,
that's
right.
Dumb.
That's
really disappointing. Yeah. Like you go out there, it's like, oh, attack of the space taxes. I had to file early because I was going to space.
Right. It doesn't make them
that's
any
not
different.
Cool or fun. No. I don't want Mars tax. I'm in Mars now, and I have to pay my Mars tax. Dumb. So dumb. As sure as he would say.
Space tax is a tax that you should have to pay with minerals and
right, moon rocks or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's space tax.
There you go. There's only two things that are certain in life, and one is space tax and death.
I like how you stress that. Space tax and death.
I did it backwards. It was death and taxes.
But it really kind of puts the thing.
It's like you put it space tax and death.
Really
more final that way, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Puts the nail in the space coffin that way.
Yeah. That's why the next Final Destination movie should be in space.
How have they not done?
Might as well at this point.
A long enough timeline. I will say, I watched the most recent one that came out, and it wasn't bad. I had fallen off those movies.
Sure.
I found it very enjoyable.
Fallen off,
but that's
the way that you could die.
Right. But they're pretty far into that franchise. Long enough timeline. Every horror movie franchise is going to space.
It's time we Jason X this thing.
Yeah. We need Uber death, taking people out. And it's not going to just be space. It's going to be like in the future. Space.
Oh, yeah. Hashtag in the future.
Jason X. What was... I guess
Fast
Leprechaun
9.
Leprechaun in Space was like...
Leprechaun in Space, yeah.
Kind of futuristic, too. Not as futuristic as Jason X, though.
Right. Didn't Pinhead go to space or something? Or is that what Event Horizon felt like?
Right. I should follow up with it. That Event Horizon sequel in comic book form is still supposed to happen, as far as I know. I don't know if it came out or not. I have to look it up.
That could be good.
You know, right.
Pulling that off if you got the right writer and art team.
But I'm pretty sure Pinhead went to space in Hellraiser Bloodlines, because along a far enough timeline, every horror franchise also gets to Bloodlines, which coincidentally, that last Final Destination movie was Final Destination Bloodlines. Why did they keep doing it? Why did they? It's so bad. It's such a bad subtitle. Stop it.
Well, the only thing better than that would be Legacy.
Oh,
throw Legacy on there, and you got yeah. That's the one in space then, since they've already blown the Bloodline option. You know,
you're right. Legacy.
Yeah, Final Destination Legacy, because it'll be like their grandkids have to pay the price because their parents cheated death.
They need to start Final Destination Beyond. I could get behind that. Beyond would be a good one.
Beyond
makes me think of horror movies.
Batman Beyond.
Of franchises used to Batman Beyond. A couple of franchises used to do Beyond. I think Reanimator was like Beyond Reanimator or something. They switched it around. But cosmic horror, it's begging for Beyond. You could take Final Destination that way. This has been our
space taxes. This is our science. Yeah, we took it and we went amazing with science fiction. Yeah,
I'm gonna play this segment for Melanie and be like, "Don't worry, we've taken the mantle. We've been running with the concept. I think you're gonna be very happy.
You're here with us in spirit.
You're gonna be very happy with what we're doing. What we're doing in your name."
We say it's amazing, and then we go on another tangent.
All right. Let's wrap this. You got anything you want to mention before we bounce out of here? Got anything exciting coming up or anything like that?
Nothing really new, other than I guess the next thing that's coming up for everyone would be Free Comic Book Day. So first weekend in May is Free Comic Book Day, where you can go out and support your local comic book stores. So all y'all in the Helix verse, for one last time, don't be political and go get some comics. Which will not be political at all.
We just Record Store Day just happened, which is very similar, except
like Rex Manning Day.
Yeah.
that should be the same day.
That's what they should call it. But Free Comic Book Day has got Record Store Day beat hands down. Record Store Day is such a cash grab. I mean, in the ways that I hopefully supports local record stores is good, but it's such a cash grab. Everything's expensive. Resellers are a real problem. It sucks. And every year it comes around and I'm looking at maybe since I've gotten into vinyl, what I might want, whatever. And then thinking of the idea of waiting in line in the morning. And then I think of Free Comic Book Day and I'm like, it's this versus you go to the store and legitimately get a bunch of free comics. And then ideally you buy some regular ones, give them some business. It's not lining up to pay inflated prices for artificial scarcity on these limited edition records. It's
and probably
so
not
different.
Get the ones you want.
Yes.
And still feel like you got to buy something because you got there.
Yes.
It's I missed out on the one I actually wanted, but I guess I better buy something since I'm here and I waited in line forever.
Right. It's such a different, it's such a similar concept, but the execution's way different. And it makes me appreciate Free Comic Book Day. So, plus this is a Grawlix podcast. This isn't vinyl hipster podcast. So go to Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
I did end up.
How about you?
Edge of the Abyss tomorrow night. That's the main thing I got coming up. I don't have too much else going
Final
on.
season.
Final season. The finale. Edge of the Abyss, where all the plot holes get plugged and all the threads get
You're plugging the plot holes, huh?
all the threads get space tacked to the wall.
This is Grawlix. Be careful.
You're right.
Any spoilers for tomorrow? Like, do you have any kind of special playlist ideas? You got a theme for the final show?
I don't. I think the obvious choice
It'll be the final countdown. That's what you should call it.
Oh, you're right. The final countdown. I don't. I've been contemplating quite a bit.
Or call it Bloodlines.
Edge of the Abyss Bloodlines.
It's either the final countdown or Bloodlines, the final countdown.
The final chapter. And then I'll start doing new episodes over on Tidy Radio and call
there it is. And that'll be
the New Blood,
the Edge of the Abyss legacy.
Beyond. yeah.
The Next Generation.
Oh, that's a good one too.
That one only ever worked once.
Yep. I don't know why. You could just keep pumping out new generations.
I know, but like everybody that's ever tried it, was it like Saved by the Bell, the New Generation or whatever? Or maybe it's the college years. I don't know. No, they tried a Next Generation. It was like a whole new group of kids at Bayside. And like some of the kids were back as teachers for no apparent reason. Like, yeah.
I feel like they've done
no, they tried that Next Generation thing. I think Star Trek's the only ones to actually get it right.
You're right. It doesn't have this. It doesn't have the same stigma that anything else that's tried to do the Next Generation or the New Generation has had.
Yeah.
That reminds me, real quick, I do want to mention I forgot about this. It's just a 4-episode miniseries. The new Malcolm in the Middle show. Malcolm in the Middle, Life's Still Unfair. It's on. I thought it was on Disney Plus. It might be. In some areas, it probably is, but I watched it on Hulu. It was okay. It was fine. There's some good gags. There's some ridiculous stuff, but whatever. It was fine.
That's what you expect from a Malcolm in the Middle return, you know.
Yeah. I always liked Malcolm in the Middle. It was heightened in a way that a lot of other shows at that time weren't. It was pretty close to a live action cartoon in some ways, but the new one's fine. Man, Malcolm's unlikable in it. Most of the characters are very unlikable. That's probably true. I'll have to revisit the original at some point.
I was going to say, maybe that was always the case. And
I feel like it probably was.
Had our nostalgia, the nostalgia goggles on. It's the nostalgia. That's what you call
nostaggles. Take your nostaggles off. Your rose tinted nostaggles.
Yo, those rose tinted nostaggles. You got to take those off all the time.
Okay.
You can't drive with those on.
All right.
You gotta have some road rage.
Yeah, you're right.
Get those nostaggles off. Sounds dirty. You getting off your nostaggles?
Oh, don't get off your nostaggles.
Good night, everybody.
Next thing you know, we're going to be plugging plot holes.
Oh, no, we aren't. Not on Helix Rock Radio. You can't
Helix
do that.
Rock
It's
Radio.
not political.
It's the last.
I mean,
the show's not political.
It's not.
Vote Perot. What? I wish I could remember. Just a random poll. I wish I could remember what year Ross Perot ran for president. Man, that would have been such a good poll if I had like the year he ran.
Oh man, in the 90s for sure, but I don't know. That wouldn't have been 96.
Vote Perot 92.
92.
92. That early. Wow. Can't believe I remember that so vividly. I mean, I was 10, but like.
Yeah. We haven't had a third party that was relevant since.
Right.
Not political.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks, Helix Rock Radio, for over 2 years of housing our nonsense.
Yeah. Of letting Thursdays get bent.
Yeah. Hey, if you're listening to this over there by chance, next Thursday or whenever we feel like streaming again. It'll be a Thursday, but youtube.com/Grawlix Podcast will get you to where you need to be, or just go to grawlixpodcast.com, GRAWLIX podcast.com. I'll be doing one more Edge of the Abyss over on Helix Rock Radio tomorrow, Friday at 8 p.m. for 2 hours. And that's it. Bye, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Putting a wrap on Helix. All right. Bye, YouTube. Have a great everything.
Yeah. We'll see you later.
Thursdays can get space bent.
Space bent.
Oh, wait.
That's a Strangers with